everyone. The final session of our Blueprint, Building a Successful #1 Student Experience in America, virtual information fair. Tonight, in our final session, we are blessed to have Mr. Martin Miles. He is the Director of Financial Aid here at Hampton University. He's going to do his format a little bit different than what others have been doing all this week. So, Mr. Martin Miles, welcome.
Thank you for being here, and greetings and salutations and good evening to all of those out there in Zoom land.
All right.
I am so happy to be here again, and thank you for hosting
third
me
year
again.
with me. Thank you. So, Mr. Miles, we have parents and our newest Hamptonians on the line. Parents and Hamptonians, Mr. Martin Miles is going to give a very brief overview, but he wants to hear from you. So he's just going to go straight to the Q&A, okay? So he has been briefed on some of your concerns, but you will have to provide that information. Ms. Bell has typed or is about to enter the contact information in the chat, but you ready?
Oh, I'm always ready.
Right,
Always
I'll turn it over
ready.
to you, and we'll go through the names and work it on out.
Again, for those of you who may not know me, I am Martin Miles, and I serve as Director of Financial Aid and Scholarships here at the university. I've been here at Hampton for, come September 3rd, it'd be 20 years here at Hampton alone, but I've been in higher education finance for about 40 years now at a couple institutions, public and private, and also in the private sector as it relates to higher education finance. But for the last 20 years, Hampton has been my home and also my passion as it relates to serving students. Our ongoing commitment is to try to help every eligible student with some form of financial assistance. And I'd like to stress that some form of financial assistance, because not all of us who apply for federal student aid, or even sometimes other forms of aid, would qualify, mostly for the same thing. And so we do our best, to award every student, in a timely manner. Sometimes it creates conflict for us when Social Security numbers and other things do not match up. But we do our best to try to, work through those little hurdles. I'd like to say to all that, in my professional opinion, I think beyond the Office of Admission, we're probably the second most important office, administrative office on the campus. You may say, well, how do you make that case, Mr. Miles? Well, it's quite simple. About 90% of our students receive some form of financial aid, whether it's scholarships, whether it's merit scholarships, or whether it's regular scholarships, whether it's loans, whether it's grants, whether it's stipends, whether it's graduate assistantships and things like that. And the list goes on and on and on. And so, it's not easy paying for a higher education nowadays, especially at a private college, university. That's why we stress to no end for students to try to make good grades, to maintain or to retain, their scholarships. One thing I'd like to give our current president, President Williams, credit, about a year or so ago, when he first came, when we looked at the renewal merit scholarship policy, it was 3.3. It had been 3.3, for quite some time. I mean, since I've been here. And so that was reduced, or that was lowered to 3.0. And that helped about nearly 200 of our students who did not quite meet the 3.3. They had like 3.29 and 3.1 and all those kinds of things. But again, we did a lot of homework and research, into that and as well. But I would like to thank President Williams for just making a very wise and very important decision to lower that 3.3 to 3.0. Most of our like that, we have known that for quite some time. So I'm glad that President Williams was able to act on that. But again, we participate in a multitude of student aid programs, not just federal, but state, institutional, and also there are a lot of educational affiliates, such as UNCF and Thurgood Marshall and a whole host of others that also provide Hampton University with with scholarship dollars and things like that. Also, I'd like to thank the Office of Development. They have been very, very instrumental in helping us to assist our students with not only with financial clearance, but also with matriculation and also with retention and things like that, and even with graduation. We helped quite a few of our students last year because we had some excess scholarship dollars to graduate, on time, and things like that. To date, we are in the process of awarding our continuing students. If they are eligible and if they've done everything that they needed to do, yes, that award is there. For them. For our parents of incoming freshman students, we've sent out almost 9,200 notices and things like that. I am sure, or I'm at least reasonably confident that if you are a parent of an incoming student, that your son or daughter has received his or her, financial aid award. And so I just want to stress those little things, important things, in my opinion, but also I want to hear from you because I can go on and on and on about, what we do and what we plan to do and this and this and this and that. But I want to hear from you because I do learn from the students and parents. And for the parents of incoming freshman students, I will be one of the key speakers in August, myself and the Office of Student Accounts, their VP, and also the registrar. These are we do these sessions every year and been doing them, since I've been here. And so I will have a ton of things to say to the parents of incoming freshmen if you decide to attend. And for continuing students, we're here. I do have a vision for moving forward with regards to customer service, and things like that. So without further ado, I'd like to now open up the, I guess, the Zoom link, if you will, or whatever platform we want to call it, to hear from our students and parents.
All right. So first, the first question is going to come from somebody who has rolled with me all week long. Miss Lucy, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Welcome back. And thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Lucy.
Good evening.
Yeah.
I'm calling in from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
But my question, and I don't know, my daughter's father receives employer sponsored benefits through Washington University.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And I don't know if we have a statement of credit letter, and I've been sending it to the business office.
Right.
And I haven't received any response. So I don't know if I need to send it to financial aid or some other office.
No, I think you sent it to the right office, and sometimes it's just not hurt to overlap. Since you and I are on the phone, and I can bring it to their attention. I don't know. There's an old saying, and I don't want to steal the credit of this one particular Wall Street company. I think they're still around, called E.F. Hutton. And they had a moniker out there many years ago, when E.F. Hutton speaks, everybody listens. So I like to say when financial aid speaks, just about everybody listen. So with reference to what you were talking about, if you can provide Mr. Harris your contact information and your daughter's or your son's student ID number, you can rest assured, as I'm sitting here, that I will make sure that that is addressed. Okay, but we do handle employer tuition assistance programs, such as what you're speaking about. Sometimes there's different names, but yes, because that's going to certainly help with regards to paying for your son or daughter's education. Fall expenses here shortly, and I would presume that it would be for both fall and spring, the amount that we're getting. So you can leave that with Mr. Harris. So that, the whole universe don't have your personal information. I would be, and he can forward that to me, okay?
All right. So
Okay,
you put your information in the chat.
Okay,
All right.
well, let me give you my direct email.
Okay, yeah, so
Let me give you my direct email, because I don't
Yeah,
want to, yeah, exactly,
tea.
come directly to the source. And I'm very transparent, I've been this way ever since I've been here. My name again is Martin, M-E-R-T-I-N. Then you have to put the period there, Miles, M-I-L-E-S, at hamptonu.edu. So send me
okay.
a brief email. I already got it. I got the essence of it. And I was make certain that my colleague before me, Ms. Tucker, who I can rely on all those in student accounts there. They're my dear colleagues. I will have somebody get back to you directly, okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Have a good evening, and thank you again for the question.
You too.
All right. Carrie Shipman.
Good evening.
I'm sorry, I left my hand up.
All right. Jeremiah Hampton.
Hello, I'm Jeremiah Hampton. I'm an incoming student coming out of Anchorage, Alaska. And I just have a few questions.
Welcome.
Yeah, so I just have a few questions about the financial aid status was. For starters, I have a scholarship opportunity from TCMF, the True Good Marshall Foundation, and they're asking for a verification process, which is a in-depth billing application.
Yes.
But from whatever I can find, none of them include what I'm getting from my financial aid and FAFSA. So none of them have my loan. They do have my Pell Grant, but they also don't have my room scholarship from Hampton or my Marriott scholarship on that. So I'm not sure where to find that, or if I can just email you guys and get an in-depth one for them.
Okay, if you have been in the student portal to accept your student financial aid for the upcoming year, then yes, you can see that. You should be able to see the Pell Grant, the loans and scholarships, anything else that we have posted to your account. Now, if you have not, and for the sake of time, because I realize where we are and time is of the essence. Yes, we do those verification all the time of students like yourself, and congratulations to be getting some additional monies of awards, because that educational affiliate, for the sake of an expression there, yes, they do need that information from us. So if they have a form, if you have a form from them, that would be more than helpful per se. Sometimes we just get the request and then we have to kind of put on letterhead and all that. But if they have their own form, we can do that very, very, very quickly for you. So again, my name is Martin.Miles at hamptonu.edu. According to Mr. Harris, I believe is already in the
In the group chat.
in the group chat. So just email me that, because time is of the essence, and we want to kind of be able to address that, Jeremiah, sometime early next week.
Okay, and another question I had was, on my billing address, it's asking for the 21,000 or something in that sort. When will because I'm solely relying on my aid, so the scholarships and the loans, when will that be added, and will I still be financially cleared come August 1st, or do I need to find a way to add my own money to that?
Well, perhaps, but two things. And let me just give you just a general, and then then I will be more specific. The general is that if the sum of your financial aid and that you have accepted, whether it's Pell Grant, whether it's loans, or whether it's your scholarship, you have to go and accept those other three things I just mentioned, but not let's just say if you did qualify for the Pell, that's an automatic acceptance. But if the sum of all of your aid that we have posted is equal to or greater than your bill, then you will receive or be notified that you have received financial clearance. Okay, and as Ms. Tucker was speaking about, I mean, the Student Accounts Office is the office that really provides the clearance. In that regard, financial aid does not. We have some basic accounting differences that we do. One is that we are the ones that award and determine eligibility and a whole host of other things. They're the ones that actually, initiate the charges in the billing and the holds and all that sort of thing. So no student aid will be posted to their account, whether you're an incoming freshman or whether you're a continuing student, not until add drop, is complete. So that won't be until September. So again, going back to you, Jeremiah, we would put everything on there that we have access to, or that's in their presence. That would be posted to your account. So financial aid is very simple math. You just divide it in half. So if you had $28,000 in aid, let's just say aid, student aid, then it'd be 14 fall and 14 spring in that regard. So let's say, and like in the example you asked me, where you say, well, Mr. Miles, do I have to add anything to that? Well, if the sum is less than your 21,114, I believe, then yes, then that would require you to, or your parents or some other means to make up the difference there. So that's what.
Okay, and then
That's what.
So would that difference need to be made by August 1st, or was that the difference that would need to be made by November?
No, I didn't say November. I said that I didn't say November at all. I said September. So that's when we will.
I mean, as in, so if my sum's lower than what's needed to be cleared by November, where it needs to be, my account needs to be at 0. That's what I'm asking.
Right. Your account needs to be cleared, I would say by August the 10th. Now, we're a little flexible with that, but again, at least by August the 10th, I would shoot for August 1st if I were you, just so that you're ahead of the pack and not just sort of coasting along. But November, I don't know why November keeps coming up here. What I'm speaking about is September, and that's when we actually credit the aid to the student's account. When no more students can get in, it's called add drop period here at Hampton. And if you go to the Office of Registrar's website, you will see the calendar. They should have a calendar out there that actually give you the dates, of that add and drop.
I'm sorry to interrupt or stop you, Jeremiah, but what was told to us at 6 o'clock was that if you pay 1/4 of your bill, you have up until November 1st to get your account to 0, but you will still technically be financially cleared. That's why November 1st keeps coming up.
Who actually promoted that?
Miss, I don't know her name.
Oh, my colleague.
Miss Tucker.
Yes,
wow.
Miss Tucker.
I guess things change every minute. But okay.
She is.
Oh, well, good. Well, I'm glad. Oh, thank you, Jeremiah. Then I retract what I said. I didn't know where that was coming from, but I will check with my colleagues. But sometimes things move real fast around here, and so well, that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. So okay, so we're all on the same page. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next person is Imani Shanell.
Yeah, that was just me that was speaking, and no problem to everybody that said thank you for saying that. So my question was technically, I have financial aid and I also have scholarships being sent there. I'm pretty sure, I don't think the scholarships will be there by August 1st, but it should definitely be there between August 1st and August 5th.
Okay.
I accepted my financial aid. I did the, I think it's called a missionary note or something like that. I did the entrance.
It's called a promissory note.
Promissory note, and then I did the entrance counseling or loan counseling, something like that.
Yes.
And it says I completed my requirements. I don't have a Parent Plus loan, so that's not a part of my package. But after that, since I accepted everything and did the requirements, am I approved? Like, how do I find out if I got
for the
approved?
loan,
And that will be
for the student loan, that's almost always 100% approved. So yes, in that regard, for your student loan, since you have done signed the promissory note, and you've also completed the federal entrance loan counseling, so you'll get on that. So you can count that as a plus towards your bill.
okay. So that'll automatically be added because I was looking on.
Yes.
Miss Tucker had recommended using TouchNet because it's real time. I think she said, and I went on there and it says that my balance is 21,000 and like 600
Okay.
something. And then it also says my statement, like the statement underneath it says 17,000. Like I was kind of confused. When would that be added? That's added after September.
Yeah, well, let me address the 21,000 first. I don't know how much Ms. Tucker covered before me, so I don't want to overlap there. But yeah, every student, whether you're incoming or whether you're a continuing student, right now, if they have registered for classes and so forth, and if their charges have been posted to their account as a direct result, yes, you're going to see the 21,114. I believe that's the correct number. Okay, so that's going to be out there until the financial aid actually credits the student's account, as I was speaking with Jeremiah just seconds ago in September, because that's when add drop is over, that's when the financial aid is going to credit. You mentioned 17,000 some odd dollars. So what it sounds like to me, and I understand what you just said about not all of your scholarships may have come in by now. You believe by August 5th, and that's fine too. That's fine too. Not gonna get penalized for that. But what it sounds like to me that the aid that you have right now, that is the amount that you have for the fall term that will be credit towards the $21,114.
Okay, so then technically I have paid 1/4 and I will be cleared and I just have to pay the rest.
But if your other scholarship comes in, if they come in, then it sounds like to me, within the upcoming days, the quicker they come in, the quicker we can apply to your account. If they go in directly to Mrs. Tucker's office, because sometimes the educational affiliates, they will send that check or that notification to my colleagues in student accounts. But they will credit your account the same, nearly the same, but with financial aid, you would actually see that, on your account. So it's 6 in one hand, 6 on the other. The most important thing is probably double checking with your education affiliates just to see if that check is in the mail. And if you want to.
Yeah, it was mailed off. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And that's fine, but and that's fine. When did they say that they mailed it off? Because typically it shouldn't take too long. And to which address do you believe they sent it to?
So I was emailing the financial aid department and they had gave me an address. I believe it's 200 Harvey Way or something like that, second floor.
Yeah. It sounds like it's coming to the financial aid office. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
that for sure. I
Okay.
believe it was sent out yesterday around 2. I know it's late, but
All right. So,
yeah.
US Post mail and that kind of thing. So I would think by Wednesday, it should surface. So, again, if you want to just, email me, I can follow up with my scholarship unit, just to be on the lookout for that and for someone to let you know so they can allay your concerns. Oh, Hampton has it, and so that you don't have to, worry about that. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Are you more than welcome?
Stacy,
Yes, yes. I had a question. Right now I have a negative balance. I just want to make sure that that means my son will receive a refund.
You are absolutely correct. You must have a degree in accounting.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure of that. And also, I guess this crossed paths.
Yeah.
He had a loan on his I guess FAFSA, and he filled out the promissory note and he did the counseling. And we believe it's going through as an approval, but we don't need it. So how do we return that money?
It's very simple. It's very simple. You can decline that monies. Your son can actually go into the portal and just decline it. If he's having trouble with it, I can have one of my team members to reach out to him to decline. Do not worry about that. It's not.
Okay.
I know some people, who are kind of inexperienced at the process, who may be, first time around or something like that. If you accept something, then you want to change your mind, fine, we can do that. Even if we credit the account with those funds, we can always retract those funds and that sort of thing. So my point being, do not worry about it, but it can actually be retracted, denied, declined, and all that kind of thing. Okay, so you can do it one way.
Okay,
Ways.
great.
You can do it in the portal, which is very simple. You can send Mr. Miles an email. That's fine, and I'll make sure that one of my counselors, do follow up with that. But do not do not stress yourself or concern yourself about that. It happens sometimes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
All right, thank you, Alicia. I don't know if it's Alicia or Alicia K.
Hi, it's Alicia.
Okay, Alicia, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so Alicia, I'm here with her as well. So earlier, a student said that they're going to accept a Thurgood Marshall scholarship.
Yep.
When Hampton's not listed as a Thurgood Marshall school or a United Negro College Fund school, so sometimes we're getting these not qualified links back.
Well,
Now,
I don't know if you finished your question, so let me make sure that you finish.
yes,
your
sir, go
thought.
ahead.
Okay. No, Hampton is not officially a Thurgood Marshall School or UNCF, and it's been that way for quite some time. However, let me be very clear and very frank with you. There are many scholarships at their website that our students do, or students matriculating here at Hampton or coming to Hampton do get from Thurgood Marshall, because we work with them directly. We have to do all kinds of verification and stuff like that, similar to one of the earlier questions. In order for Thurgood Marshall or UNCF to send us those monies. So you're right in part, but also in other parts, we do receive a lot of money from Thurgood Marshall Fund as well as UNCF, and their website will indicate, should indicate which particular scholarships that your son or daughter would qualify for. But if it needs verification in any kind of way, they do send us electronic transmission of students to whom we need to say, okay, Martin Miles is getting this and that and that and this and all that kind of thing. And we know how important that is. And so we always respond very quickly to those transmissions. So I do, and that's what I was speaking about in the beginning, in my introduction, about educational affiliates, and I made mention of
Okay.
Thurgood Marshall and the
UNCF.
Negro College Fund. Yeah.
Sir, so if a student is coming in January for spring semester, are there any Hampton merit scholarships that can be applied for at that time, or are they always only for fall admission?
Well, it like with most things, we don't reserve funding, for students coming into the spring per se, because it's like a crystal ball. You just don't know necessarily, with that. We have an idea based on past trends and things like that. But to answer your question, yes, if monies are available back then, I mean when that time comes, yes, that student, if they meet the basic criteria, for those for whatever we have left, then yes, they could or would be considered. But on the front end, we're trying to help as many of our students who are coming in the fall, whether you're incoming freshmen or whether you are returning students, as possible. And money goes fast, money goes very fast, especially when we're talking about grants and scholarships. So to answer your question, the answer is yes, but chances are better if they were to, begin in the fall.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Miss Donna Swain.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Miles. On my grandson's financial aid award, we had accepted the Parent Direct Plus loan. And it was a waiting credit check, but we decided not to use that. And I had a college savings account that I was going to use for the shortfall that we had after everything was applied. But it's still showing up. I have spoken with Miss Elva and Miss Davis at your office about having that removed. They said that don't worry about that, but it's still showing there. That's okay.
Well,
You understand?
I like to think of Miss Elva. She is the first lady of financial aid, and I say that
Oh, she knows me by
she's the
name.
one that managed my call dashboard and everything else. And
Oh, she's
her heart out.
fantastic.
She answered every question, but technically, you know, she's my receptionist. And
Right.
Davis
She
is
tries
my
her
office
best.
assistant,
Yes.
and they try very hard. But again, as I was sharing with someone earlier, we will cancel that aid, that Parent Plus loan, if you're not interested in that. And so,
Right.
sometimes we get a little, behind on some things. So if you send that directly to me,
I did it.
yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. My assistant director, her name is Miss Tanisha Brown, and she is responsible for a multitude of things, notwithstanding the whole loan portfolio that we have here at HU in the financial aid office.
All
So
right.
I'm sure that if you
Okay.
send it to me this evening, I can rest assured that it would be
Well,
canceled.
I actually
And
just forwarded.
I would have Miss Davis to call you personally.
Oh, yes. And she'll know me. She'll laugh when you say my name. But
Yeah,
you can still hear me, right?
I can hear you well.
Okay. So I've just forwarded you an email that I had already sent to the financial aid office
That's
about
fine.
that.
That's fine.
So I just forwarded. I didn't rewrite a new email. But in any regards to the whole thing, the money from the college savings account, the check came to your office and it was applied to the student account. They are, I paid for the whole, fall and the spring semester though. There was a 14,503 shortfall after all financial aid was applied.
Mhm.
And I had them send a check for that amount.
Okay,
I did send an email that I want it split up between semesters though. I don't want, because right now that whole 14,503 is being deducted from the 21,000.
okay. So here's what I would say to you on that. I speak very clearly and transparently when it comes to things I have autonomy over. What you're asking for would have to be resolved through my student accounts office, Ms. Tucker and her team, because they're the ones who actually will post.
Okay, because I sent an email to the business office.
Yeah, okay. But sometimes yes, ma'am, but sometimes what is required is a conversation. So you have done your homework.
Okay.
You've done your due diligence. I commend you for that. I commend you for the 529 college savings plan or similar plan. That is wonderful. I like to do more of those, per se, from my vantage point. So if you can just tag that along as well, I will speak with my colleague who's before me and someone else to get back to you personally. What I do not like to do, even in my capacity as when financial aid speaks about a listen type thing, to overpromise or to oversell or anything like that. I like to make sure that the resident experts in their own little unit, follow up with you on that. Okay, so include that.
Okay, so I just sent
if you
the
haven't-
business office. I didn't send a special name, just the office.
No, send it to me.
And
No, send it to me, and I'll make sure that my colleague before me, who I think the world of, Ms. Tucker, I'll have her get back to you personally.
well, the email I think I forwarded to you, there's a whole thread about all of this.
Well,
Okay.
just give me the skinny, there was a
Okay,
whole.
I will.
Mr. Facts, man, Mr. Facts. So if you send me that 529, I'm gonna remember this conversation, no doubt about it. I'm gonna remember the plus loan conversation, no doubt about it. So I'll have them, give me the thread. I read it, but I'm just saying, I just want to make sure that I get someone to respond to your concern, as quickly as possible. Now,
I appreciate it.
my attention.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
No, is that okay? Is that okay? Okay, thank you.
Yes, that's fine. That's all I needed. Yes. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Kimby. Miss Kim V. I'm sorry, I'd never get your last name. Right.
It's okay, it's Burley.
Early, I just remember the V, okay.
So question, I heard, and I want to know if Hampton University does this. So my daughter has a merit scholarship, and I heard if she gets outside scholarships, like a sorority scholarship or a local scholarship, the university would deduct that amount from her merit scholarship. Is that something that Hampton does?
Well, in the broader aspect of it, and I'll qualify that here in a second. We do have a policy that speaks to that particular issue. It's on the admissions website. It should be in your daughter's scholarship award agreement that she signs. But this is how it really works. If the sum of all of let's just say your daughter had multiple scholarships in addition to Hampton's scholarship that was greater than the direct cost. So if it was greater than the direct cost, which is your billable charges, which is tuition, room and board, and associated fees, everything that shows up on the bill. If it's greater than that, then yes, in that regard, yes, there will be a reduction of Hampton's money. And the reason why we have always done that is because, and that's I won't call it extreme, but we probably have less than 30% of the situations that really meet that threshold. But what we do whenever we do make a reduction or something like that, if it's greater than the direct billable charges, which include room and board and all that stuff, it goes back into the pool to help other students because, as I said, we don't have a vast number of students who are getting that much in scholarship now. I'm not talking about athletes and things like that in a few episodes where we have, not episodes, but students who get full rides. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Martin Miles, a good student, but I just, I searched for scholarships very well. Very hard and did my homework and all that kind of thing. And I just got 20 other scholarships. When you add them all up, they're greater than 43,000, some odd dollars. Yeah. So in that case, we would reduce if it's greater than the direct cost. So
let me ask this, so I just make sure.
Yeah, but not knowing the
it's clear.
specifics, you're not knowing the specifics of what you're asking, the policy, yes. But again, I would have to look at it just to see if the sum of all those scholarships, I'm just saying all, it could be only one in addition to the merit. If it's greater than the direct cost, that's when that policy does, take hold or does take effect. And it is, also spelled out in the scholarship award agreement. If you go and look at that.
It is. I just didn't quite understand it, so I'm just gonna ask you in numbers.
Yeah, that's how that works. That's how that works.
So say the billable amount was $5,000 and she got $1,000 scholarship, then it goes back in my pocket, right? It would be reduced from my amount. Is that correct? Because it's not over $5,000, the billable amount.
Right. With scholarships now, let me be very clear. With scholarships now, it's not going to go back into your pocket. What it will, if it's an outside scholarship that creates the credit balance, yes. But if it's Hampton monies that create the credit balance, per se, it would simply be, it will roll over to the account. You cannot get a scholarship check off of Hampton's scholarships. To put
No,
it.
I may have said it wrong, but if it's under the billable amount, it'll get credited to her account.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Okay.
Yes, the answer is yes. If I'm hearing you correctly, the answer is yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
Leah?
That doesn't apply to loans, does it?
Say that one more time.
That policy does not apply to loans, does it?
It does not apply to loans. Good question.
Was that Leah?
No, that's somebody else.
Okay.
Is that Leigh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it's pronounced Lee. Good evening.
Lee, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I get that all the time. Thank you again, Mr. Harris, for doing this every night of the week. Thank you, Mr. Miles, for joining us tonight. My question is, um, when we first got the invoice that came in back in June for the 21,000, my daughter's great grandmother actually saved money for her and paid that before we got the invoice the other day. And my question is, so since we seemed to have overpaid, um, because there are, her merit scholarship and whatever, and financial aid had not kicked in, instead of getting a refund, can those monies just be held and applied to the spring semester?
Yes. The answer
Okay.
is yes, because such as, one of the earlier questions dealt with a credit balance, and I was just jokingly saying to the person, you must have a degree in accounting. Yes, it would be the same thing in this regard. I would cancel the loans and stuff like that. You really don't need them.
Right, and she didn't get any loans. This is
Okay,
her.
I'm saying, if that was part of the package. So that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, and then the other question is, and everyone's been asking questions about external scholarships. I know that there are a few that my daughter has gotten. It hasn't amounted to anywhere near, a merit scholarship or the total cost of things, but
Right.
those will be coming in after September.
Right.
So again, since great grandma has already, cut that check and sent it in, can the scholarship monies also be applied to the spring semester, or is it that the scholarship monies are divided between the semesters and then there's more money, so to speak, in her account?
Well, very good question. Typically, unless the sender or the educational affiliate tells us to split it or tell us student accounts now, not financial aid. So let me be very clear with that. I'm not
Okay.
saying that in that regard. But to answer your question, typically what would happen in that case, unless it's otherwise specified in writing, to the university to give half fall, half spring, they will apply the whole 9 yards, to the fall balance, and it will create a credit balance. And so, as we were saying moments ago, then that would be a credit towards her spring semester charges. And I believe you said that your relative actually paid for the whole year.
Well, she paid like when we got the email back in June, it was for the $21,619.
Oh, for the fall. Okay.
So she paid that amount in full. However, when we got the invoice, it was considerably less. So there was, again, a lot of confusion, not much clarity. So that's why I think we're all in different ways asking the same question.
Yeah, so it would be, again, if if it were to come into us, and then I'm expecting it to, based on what I'm hearing, then yes, it would be all applied towards the fall balance. And I realize fall balance is paid, but it would create that credit balance with a negative with a negative number there. And that's basically a credit balance, and would be applied towards the spring semester charge, which is a good thing, which is a very good.
It is a very good thing. Single mom here. The other question I had is she did send this money from a 529 plan that I didn't know she had. So when they send that money, about how long does it take to get to the school?
Well, if if they were to FedEx it, boom, we would have it the next day or within a couple of days. So I would always, I guess
It just took a few days. It didn't take long. I'm sorry to interject. I sent mine, so I just wanted to interject that. It just took maybe 3-4 business days.
Yeah,
that is wonderful because it was sent out 10 days ago and I still don't see that reflected in her balance.
Really? Okay. I'm gonna ask you this question. I know there are two persons speaking right now. So let me make sure I'm clear. Do you know which office it was sent to?
We were just given the address of the business office, and it was just
okay.
business office, Hampton University,
Okay.
Hampton, Virginia,
So
no street address.
So just like I asked the last person who had a a pretty long I guess trail of emails, in addition to one of the plus loan counselor and the 529 college plan, can you also send me something? Because I want to check with my colleagues on what you were inquiring about, just to see if the funds have been applied to your son or daughter's account. So
I will
please,
do that.
and I'll work with them, to see if it's, it's come in, and if so, to follow up with you directly. Okay,
I-
so make sure
Mhm.
I'm sorry, so just make sure you include, a contact number.
Will do. I appreciate you. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Sure, I look forward to meeting you at the parent section thing that I do in August.
All right.
Likewise.
All right, Mr. Miles, we are rounding up to the end of our hour. We're gonna take about 4 more questions, okay?
Yes, I'm
All
here.
right.
I'm here to serve.
All right. Angela?
Oh my God. Okay, so okay, so I have a question, and you kind of answered it early on, but I just want to get a clear understanding. It's going to be yes or no. My son has, I'm looking at his account right now. He has in-house scholarships. I see an outside scholarship have been applied, and also his financial aid has been applied. Am I clear to, is he clear, financially clear? Because it's over 1/4 of the balance that's due for the fall. Is he financially clear to start in August?
Well, you did say, I'm gonna say yes, because based on what I was kind of told here, and which is surprising to me, about the November date and the amount that was needed for financial clearance. What it sounds like to me that the aid in which you just described, would meet that threshold.
Okay, perfect. What is a promissory note? What is a promissory
note? The promissory note for a student is just like, with the parents, but for the student, they have to sign a promissory note one time and only one time only for the entire time they're at the institution receiving federal student aid. Loans to be specific, loans to be specific. So don't have to do that one time. And they also have to do the federal loan entrance counseling if we're talking about an incoming freshman student. Even if a continuing student, if you never received a loan before, a student loan before, you should have to do the same thing, which is to accept the loan amount, or you can say, well, I don't want this amount, I want a lesser amount. You can also do that, but you still have to do the promissory note, and you also have to, because it won't credit the account. Nothing we can do, or even on my end, unless that promissory note data transmission we receive from the Department of Education. You also have to do the federal loan entrance counseling as well. So yes, it's just, just like you doing a mortgage, you have to sign that mortgage loan, that kind of thing. It's no different with the student loan in that regard, but you don't have to do it one time. Then for the time 4 years or less than 4, depending on how long it takes a student to graduate.
Okay, last question. I need to know exactly, because it's a little more, so I only expect to pay after all of his outside scholarships are applied, I only expect to pay out of pocket a couple of thousand.
Okay.
So who do I talk to about that, and how do we arrange that? And I know that the scholarships won't be coming in until whatever they come in. So who do I talk to? Is it the business office? Is it financial aid? Is it student accounts? Who do I talk to, and what's a name and a phone number so that I can speak to them?
Well,
as opposed to an email address.
Yeah, well, this is a easy way to discern between financial aid and student accounts. If we're talking about monies coming in that have yet to arrive, but they're on the way, and we can help you with that on our end, so long as we know. Or even, let's say, for example, you have like a award notification, that Martin Miles is going to get $2,000. You can send that to us, and we will acknowledge that on the financial aid side. But let's say everything has come in. So that's the key here. Well, that's the second key here. Then once it credits the account, And then if it creates the credit balance, or if it is short by $2,000, which you mentioned that you wish to only, you think you only have to pay $2,000 when you add up all the math of the scholarship and aid, then that's when once we apply it, then that's when you would speak to student accounts in that regard. But your son or your daughter, they can also go into the student portal using their Hampton University ID number and PIN number, and they can see their bill. They can see their financial aid. But I understand, as long as I've been in this business, that a lot of parents like to take the lead in that regard. So you can either have them do it, they can print off a copy, or you can have them come to the Whipple Barn building here on campus. And that's where my office is located, on the second floor, student accounts office located on the first floor. And if you were to visit the campus in the coming weeks, I would welcome you to do that yourself. So you can have
yes, so
with us, or you can have a conversation with student accounts.
okay, so I'm inside of all of his accounts, everything. So I'm looking at it now and I see the full balance. Although I see that the everything was accepted, the scholarships were accepted, the outside scholarships, everything was accepted, but I'm still seeing a full balance on what my Hampton self-service and in the other
Right.
whatever TechNet or whatever it is. So yeah, so I'm still seeing full of balances. I'm just hoping that y'all know that,
I mean, the balance is going to be there.
Okay.
And it's going to be there just because school hasn't started. The add drop period, hasn't started. Once school starts and the add drop period is over, then financial aid has so many days to then credit. Then, you can use the term disperse, that kind of thing, to the student account. So in essence, like, it's like looking at your credit card statement, or your institutional, monthly statement from your lending institution. You will see the payments, you see the credits and things like that. We have yet to pay on the account with the financial aid to include the scholarship and loans and everything else. We won't do that until the add drop period is over. So that's when you see that 21,144, whatever that number that you're looking at, because it may vary if a parent has made a payment or a student has made a payment on the account. Then you will see that number decrease once we apply or credit or disperse the aid on the account. So you just have to wait until that happens.
Okay.
Okay, it's all good. I mean, it's standard operating procedures, trust me.
Yeah, I don't want to pay anything extra right now. I don't want nothing credit. I don't want to wait on a refund. I don't want to wait on my refund.
With that. I mean, no question, should go unaddressed, especially if it's brought to, individual's attention, in my opinion.
Mr. Miles, I think there is some confusion about her first question though, because what the young lady said earlier is, if you have, let's use easy numbers. If the total bill for fall is $10,000 and you have $5,000 worth of scholarships, loans, whatever, and you have a balance of $5,000, then you have to pay a fourth of what that balance is in order to be considered cleared. That is what was told to us just a little earlier. You do have to pay some portion of it as long as you have a balance.
I'm sorry. To me as well, but go ahead and finish your comment.
Well, I just want to make sure that we all clear that up, because I think that there's confusion there. Is it that if you have a balance, if after all of the stuff that's coming in, either from Hampton or outside of Hampton, is paid when it hits, if after that you have some kind of balance, you have to pay a fourth of that in order to be
clear.
Are you still there?
I think
okay. Well, yeah. Well, here's what I'll do with that, because I want to make sure that you are comfortable with what has been put out there, such as with my colleague before me. So again, please feel free, and I'll just say, since I'm speaking to you now, email me your exact question. I'll have Ms. Tucker or her supervisor, Mr. Nixon, to respond back to you on that. On whatever points that you raise in your email.
Okay, so it's Miss Tucker or Miss Nixon who we can go to directly who can answer this question instead of emailing you. Okay.
Absolutely, because
Tucker or Nixon?
because I'm gonna tell you why. Because their other office has actually removed the hose and all of that. And as I was saying in the very beginning, we have separate fiduciary responsibilities and checks and balances and all that. That's just standard ways of doing business. Okay, so we will make sure that you are comfortable with the question that you raised based on what you heard prior to me coming on board here.
We all should get that feedback.
Absolutely. So, you know, I wouldn't sweat it. I wouldn't sweat it at all.
All right. As we end our allotted time, the last question is going to come from a Krishana phone. Krishana.
I'm sorry, before that question is asked, can I just ask one thing? Can we please share that email address in the chat for everyone? Thank you.
So the first email address for Ms. Tucker was businessoffice@hamptonu.edu. And his email, you want your personal one?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is Martin, MARTIN .Miles, MILES @hamptonu.edu. And Ms. Bell has typed it into the group chat.
Thank you. I apologize.
Well, thank you all for asking the
Krishana.
questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Miles. I have one question. I have two questions. One piggybacks off of a previous question. So if outside scholarships ends up having the Hampton Merit Scholarship decreased, okay, and let's just say the outside scholarship is not 4 years or renewable, will the original amount Hampton offered for the Merit Scholarship be available for the second, third, and fourth year, long as eligibility requirements are met?
Excellent question. And the answer to your question is yes.
Okay. And then my next question is, we had a balance. So we applied for the student and the parent loan to cover the balance. But since then, he's received additional outside scholarships to cover the balance. We don't know when those outside scholarships will hit. So I'm afraid of canceling the student loan and the parent plus loan right now because I don't want to also pay anything out of pocket. So when is the last possible date to cancel those loans? Because I'm hoping they hit by August, and I know the loans don't post till September.
Right, you're in very good shape if you decide to cancel the plus loan in anticipation of the scholarship. More specifically to your question about timing, with loans, the credit on credit-based loans, let's just stick to plus because we have private loans, all that stuff. That's not your question. You have up to 180 days before that credit check expires. So we're only talking next month. So you're in good shape.
Okay. So if the outside scholarships post in August, at that time I can email or call you guys to cancel the parent plus loan.
You can do it in September, October, November. Just don't wait 6 months to do it.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
All right. So, Mr. Martin Miles, thank you so much for joining us. Just another year of doing this.
Yeah, I see. And this is harder than boot camp.
Yeah, so parents and Hamptonians, his office as well as business accounts will be open when you all arrive.
Absolutely.
If you are early arrival on the 1st, then it will be open, as well as on move-in day of the 18th and the 19th, your offices will be open to welcome them to come in and handle business prior to moving in or after moving in. So that information we shared. And then we have the pleasure of having you on Saturday for the parent session at 2 or 4 p.m.
Yes.
At the desired location that will be announced in the actual weekend program once solidified. So everyone, I do thank you all for joining us yet another year. And I hope that this week has been very successful and helpful with the resources offered to you this week. I promise these recordings will appear online tonight on YouTube underneath the HU Student Affairs website. If you still have the flyer, the link is at the bottom. And then Miss White will be sending out the email tomorrow with the direct link that you could click on. But we will be uploading those once we get to Wi-Fi with a stronger bandwidth to get all the videos up on the net. Once again, you all, thank you all. Oh, and let me also remind once again, Family Weekend is taking place here at Hampton University on September 29th through October 1st. We will have a weekend full of fellowship with families, administration, and your students. And then on Sunday, October 1st, we will close out the weekend with official opening convocation of the school year with President Darrell K. Williams and First Lady Myra Williams. So we look forward to seeing you this upcoming year in August, and have safe travels. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.